Nadszedł czas zmiany, przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie. Nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie, przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami, a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom, to jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni, nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.
Witam wszystkich na 441 warsztatach poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim. Dzisiaj mamy czwartek, 18 luty 2021 rok. I tematem jak zwykle jest kolejny wykład. To tłumaczenie 367 warsztatu pierwszej części. Tak więc zapraszam do wysłuchania i obejrzenia oraz czytania tekstu dla tych, którzy nie znają angielskiego. Tak więc zaczynamy.
Gracias. As we all know, we have announced the establishment of the Keshe Foundation Television, and the process has taken shape. and has requested from all the languages to appoint members to the Board of Management of the Keshe Foundation Television, which means for the first time, television station will run by all the people who represent the Keshe Foundation across this planet. They decide the programs, they decide the progress, they decide in which way, what they want to put out in their own languages. This is a breakthrough for them, and at the same time, it gives the Universal Council to understand the potential they carry in carrying their message through the television and sharing knowledge directly with the rest of the knowledge seekers and their wish, the way they see the human race to go forward. The Keshe Foundation initially puts a support team to see the management team of the Keshe Foundation Television have everything all facilitated for them, and then gradually withdraw and stay in the background. That the Universal Council, in conjunction with the television channel, will take over and run the affairs of the station and bring about what they foresee to be the next step for all of us. In so many ways, as we explained to the different group and different nationalities and languages in the past week, we expect each country to appoint 3 members to the board, and collectively they decide how the teaching, the spread of the knowledge and technology, and the news of the new technology will spread around the world. I thank all the groups which have already worked hard and have made their work ready for upcoming launch of the television channel on the 21st of March 2021. In so many ways, we celebrate the establishment of the television channel on 20th of March. Around about 10 o'clock Central European time, we start celebrating and we go live. And then the full program and the process of the programs on the television channel and the rest will start on 21st midnight. It'll be good, and in a way the responsibility of every knowledge seeker to participate in this television channel in every way and every means they can. The station will work very much a mixture of what we call as a television programs on a scheduled time, a scheduled date for a specific language or a specific topic, be it the Chinese, be it English, be it health, be it space, that people know such a time like Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock is the knowledge seekers. They know in the language when and what time they can listen to the knowledge seekers in their own original language. And then after that time it will be available on demand, which means we brought the what we call television program and the present pay-per-view together, which means you can watch it later on, you can listen to it later on, but you know at such a time of a day is in your language. We have given the freedom for the languages to choose the span of time they like, and the days they like, and the position and the slot of the time they like to be part of. This will be set out in the next 3-4 weeks, and it will be announced accordingly. But the establishment and opening of the Keshe Foundation Television will start going public from next week, which means the stations around the world and all the medias which work around through the Keshe Foundation and the platform we work will be informed of the opening of a new channel. It'll be nice if the knowledge seekers take this message, which is a recorded introduction to the television and post it on all the social medias that we get understanding of the opening. All the beautiful things that can happen in this process is in the hand of the knowledge seekers. There is nowhere that we can stop, and there is no way that we cannot share the knowledge. The most important part of this television program is the news section. The news section allows you to share the latest knowledge as news. And in this process, we can announce the discoveries, the application as a news frame in the news broadcasting. As you do not make a claim, but you inform of what has been achieved. In so many ways, you can cover the testimonials, you can cover the new development, the new machinery, the new claims on the scientific papers which relates to the technology. You can interview the world leaders as a press of the Keshe Foundation television. You can bring the scientists, leading scientists of the world together as to interview them and bring them to understand the new knowledge. It's a new freedom, and it allows us to reflect the true essence of the work of the foundation over the past 20 years. In so many ways, the new television channel belongs to all of us, and will be headed by the knowledge seekers. And at the same time, it's the best for us to be able to show the true development of the technology, and in true essence, in bringing the old and new together. As I said to the knowledge seekers on every platform, please, when you introduce the technology to any shape or form, never introduce it as a new technology, but introduce it as addition to the present knowledge. Which means the person you interview, the person you share the knowledge with, does not have a reaction that's something new, but it has the feeling that I missed something, that I want to be updated, upgraded to the new knowledge. And that's a big difference in understanding the new technology. If you tell somebody that this is something new, they have a reaction. But if you tell them this is a part of the knowledge which was missing, now we understand, they want to know what they're missing. And this has to become the approach of the television program. At the same time, we try to make one target, as I explained to all the platforms in the past few days. The main objective of the Keshe Foundation is world peace through a spread of the technology and knowledge. And to that effect, I have asked and requested from the board of directors to be set up, to come in, and the present knowledge seekers who run the Keshe Foundation TV and the Universal Council, if you were in the meeting of this week, to make the television objective 2 points. One is spreading knowledge, and secondly, the creation and signing of the World Peace Treaty by the world leaders. As a television channel, as news broadcasters, you can approach your governments, you can approach the authorities and ask them in a press interview, would you submit and commit your nation to peace? And take that to them directly into the offices of your presidents, your prime ministers, your ministers, your ambassadors, and get a commitment directly in the news. If the nation will support peace, sign itself into it, not as a accord, but in action. Reach to the other organizations except Greenpeace, which are totally non-political but objective to achieve peace, and bring them in to collaborate with the Keshe Foundation TV. Give them voice, no political voice, but the true voice of peace, and together bring and encourage the governments and the nations to sign themselves. Your district directors, or your governors, your civil defense heads, to sign themselves into peace. We call it the mayors. Get the city to sign itself to peace that does not allow any arms. And gradually we build it up. As I said a couple of times in the past week, I set the example. One man in 2012 set out to give the key, the knowledge to the world leaders and to the nations. And single-handedly, I went to every embassy and I delivered the key of the technology to every embassy, to every ambassador. And the nations, one by one, accepted and signed themselves to accepting it. In a matter of less than 10 months, with giving the knowledge freely in exchange for peace, in a very correct way, the most powerful man on earth, President Obama, requested the key, requested to sign, to enter peace talk with Iran in exchange for the knowledge which came from Iran. As I said, if one man could bring the President of the United States to accept the peace talks through knowledge, which I did in 2012, now it's millions of us. Collectively, we can bring our nations, our citizens to sign to peace. We have Corona and nations have no funds to spend on arms. We have to encourage the military to understand through peace they can really deliver to their nations what it is, to protect them from inside and not on the borders. As the borders, there is no more danger. We have to bring the main military officers and those who are committed to defend with arms the borders of a nation, to defend and to spread the knowledge and the technology amongst the people. We have seen this work in the White Revolution in Iran, where the soldiers were taken off the army camps and put in the villages to build hospitals, to build the schools, to teach, and at the same time to look after the health of it. We have a preset for this. The White Revolution in Iran in late last century, middle of last century, became an example for this present success of a well-educated nation of Iran, where technology, knowledge became freely available, that people stepped into the next and made Iran such a beautiful, highly educated nation of today. There was a base for it, and where the forces and the funds of military, instead of staying in the camps and creating wars, was used to share the knowledge and the beauty of every man's life as what we call civil engineers and teachers and medical teams across the nation. Now this nation has become extended its borders out of Iran into the world community. And this is what you have to sell to your army officers. Take your soldiers, build the bridges. Take your soldiers, make your schools. Take your soldiers, teach your people the technology. Take your soldiers and make them soldiers of peace within the borders of a nation, as the boundaries and the borders of the nation are safe through signing of the contract of peace by the leaders of the nation. The most important point for all knowledge seekers, especially the new section of the Keshe Foundation team, is to engage the military into peace, to engage the governments into peace talk, to bring the condition that we can create the position that they feel safe and they sign themselves into it. Do not be afraid. President of the United States is a man, as is the president of the smallest nation in Africa. They all have children, they all have life, and they all respect the knowledge and the condition of peace, where the money is spent for arms become tool for peace. In so many ways, read about the White Revolution of Iran, which was set up by the ex-Shah of Iran. That's the only good thing that the Shah did for the Iranian nation. The rest is history. What abuses was is in their hand. We always take the beauty of it. And we've seen how the present Iranian Sepah has used the people who were educated in the villages basically by the white revolution. Now they're the leading scientists in Iran. We can do the same in India and across Africa and across South America and the rest of the world. The beauty with our work is for the first time we have the opportunity to share knowledge in exchange for peace with men of military. Not to show how beautifully we can defend, but how beautifully we can serve. It's the responsibility of you knowledge seekers. I know many of you bear arms and you are part of the military. I know in the Chinese government and Chinese army, they are well educated about the Keshe Foundation. Maybe the Chinese leadership on the eve of Chinese New Year will take the responsibility to change this position from the top and bring peace across the nations. In so many ways, what we've seen with One Belt, One Road agenda of the President Xi of China, many nations have economically developed, but educationally still in poverty. Maybe President Xi of China can now divert the assets of the Chinese government into education instead of building ports, into building schools and providing teaching facilities for the poorest nations as a priority than building dams and bridges. Enough dams and bridges have been built. And my request to all the government is that make all the loans for education free, non-returnable, that do not put the nation in debt. This is one of the biggest problems which One Belt, One Road of China has brought to many nations. In so many ways, maybe with the TV channel, we become a what we call peace political education group, that we show the guidelines to the government how to follow. By example, by bringing the technology in the hand of everyone. In so many ways, as the technology is on an app basis, anyone across the world can reach it. As many of you know, Chinese government, American government and the rest, they all at this moment of time are striving to find a solution with Corona and the rest of it. Through the teaching and the television channel, we can reach to this point. We can enter the situation where we can celebrate the beginning of the peace through the ethos of the knowledge and technology. As it stands, the logo of the television is simple, where science meets the soul of the man and finds peace. And in so many ways, it's the responsibility of us as knowledge seekers to change the position, to make the Keshe television station as a point where people come to find solutions. It is the responsibility of many of you, as I said in other teachings, to change the fear of the global warming to a new solution that the plasma technology does not even consider global warming exists. As the more of us who use the plasma technology, we walk away from the causes of global warming, and we don't need to fight it. We don't need to change anything economically, but just change to use the new technology to change what we ourselves and our parents and our forefathers have done to this planet. In a way, by using the space technology of the Keshe plasma technology, we allow the planet to live again in its normal path. We don't change anything. We make it more available for the planet to take what it needs from the fields that we release from the work of the Keshe Foundation plasma technology. When you release the gases, the planet takes from it what it needs and the rest stays. By spreading the gas technology and teaching it directly, people can see in making, for example, the CO2, not only to absorb the CO2 from the environment, but they can show you that it can be used in agriculture. The same thing can be used in building bricks, and it can be used to what we call for every purpose for humanity. In a way, we don't show a solution, we show a new way of living. And this has to be the job of the television presenters. How you put this across to the audience, how you put across to the world leaders and to the rest of the people. As I have requested from the Universal Council responsibility is to approach the French Accord team to sign the Keshe Foundation as a member of the what we call the Global Warming Paris Conference, where the United States walked in and walked back in again, and out of it again and back in again. And in this process, the Keshe Foundation, through the work of the Universal Council, has to reach the United Nations and request to become a permanent member on the panel of the United Nations as an NGO. We are enough of us that we can sign and request this from United Nations and be recognized as a force into bringing peace and delivering many things that the Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers have been waiting for. It's the responsibility of all of us as knowledge seekers to support, and if we have any connections and ways to facilitate that the Keshe Foundation Universal Council becomes member of the Paris talks and signatory to global warming to bring a solution, and to become a member of United Nations NGO group. This is important for us. I know this as I know United Nations is looking for solutions as they have run out of every option. And it's the responsibility of United Nations to accept a new alternative, which you offer. Do not forget, at the moment, on my passing, United Nations carries 50% of the management voting right of the Keshe Foundation. So they are in it, and you've got to be in it to be able to affect that decision making. Till the Keshe Foundation management team will change the Universal Council and the Earth Council in coming weeks. We have started the process, and very soon we will announce the establishment of the Keshe Foundation, Universal Council and Earth Council in the nations which we choose to opt and operate out of. That as a company, as a what we call registered body, can interact with the rest of the organizations around the world, not by name and by .coms or by .emails, .orgs, but as a registered organization for peace and development. The new television station brings us many opportunities, but at the same time brings us many pitfalls. We have to watch. It's not all glory, and it's not all, it'll be fantastic. We make the path, and we have to be responsible for it. Those of you who become the member of the Keshe Television management team, collectively think wisely, not about yourself or your nation, but what happened to us as one nation, one planet, one race. Take the ethos of the Keshe Foundation with you, and not what you personally think is right. Does it fit? And how it fits, that collectively we can work together to bring the position of peace. In so many ways, our job as knowledge seekers has just started. And how you run this television channel, and how you take it out of the border frame of just a television channel, but in a way of teaching in a way of spreading the news, in a way of correct conduct through the nations and militaries, we can bring the change. If you have made an appointment with the world leaders and you want any of the heads of the Keshe Foundation to be with you, they will be there. Now the two ladies at the head of the Keshe Foundation move into a new responsibility till the Universal Council takes its position. And every time you represent or you make an appointment with the member of the government or military, always make sure your member of the Universal Council is with you. If need be, that the ethos of the foundation through its operation is observed and abided by. It's our responsibility to use this opportunity to make 2021 the year of a spread of knowledge and peace. And our target is 21st of April to start the signing of the peace by the world leaders and the nation's leaders. Members of the Universal Council and members of the Keshe Foundation some 3 years ago signed every nation on their own behalf to peace. Now it's your responsibility to sign the nation you sign into for its leaders to do, and do it on television. Do it and spread it, that such a nation, the way I did, has signed itself to peace. The way when I gave the key, I announced it on the Keshe Foundation forum that such a nation has accepted the key. You got to remember, when we offered the key to European nations, they received a full instruction from NATO and American administration. None of the European nations can accept the key. But under pressure and the work of the Italians, member of knowledge seekers of Italy took the mission onto the floor of the Italian parliament, and with a member of the Italian parliament bringing on the floor of the parliament, forced the Italian nation and the ambassador to accept the key and broke rank. That even the Americans months later broke the rank and themselves requested for the key. So it's very easy. Work through your ambassadors, work through your leaders on the basis of their knowledge in exchange for peace, and bring your militaries to see the beauty of the change. In so many ways, many of us will yearn to join an army. Many of us escaped, were becoming a 2-year enforced soldier. Now we go and ask, can we become soldiers for 2 years? Because we want to serve our nations. Where we escape for every excuse not to join the national service, now we request the national service. In so many ways, it's upon you to change the course. We are facilitators. And I thank the Keshe Foundation, knowledge seekers who gifted the station to the Keshe Foundation, and to the board of directors and the owner of the station. In being a knowledge seekers, understood the necessity for change and has facilitated this for all of us. This is a gift we could not refuse, and it's a gift which years of teaching has brought to all of us. In so many ways, our battles has started with ourselves in how good we can serve humanity, no more how good we serve the others. We have to take steps, and individually to bring it about, to be part of us daily life. But thank you for all your support, and in the coming weeks, members of the board of the management of the television channel will report to you on a weekly basis till we reach the opening, and most probably through different teaching channels, they'll inform you what they need and what is the course set for the following months and years by the Universal Council, which the television channel will follow and Keshe Foundation will support to see it to be achieved. I thank you very much for all your support over past years and all those who are helping us to set up different ways of education and teaching and the spreading of the knowledge. I can see Wang Lin from the head of the Keshe Foundation from Chinese language has joined us. Wang Lin, are you online?
Yes, Mr. Keshe. Good morning, good day.
Good evening. I would like you, if you can translate our best wishes and the best of wealth and happiness for the Chinese New Year to the Chinese community, please.
Thank you so much. 就是开始祝福我们所有的知识寻求者，春节快乐。
And we hope we see the best of the Chinese New Year for all of you in the coming year, and that we can serve the Chinese nation through the technology and knowledge.
我希望可以通过我们的科学和技术，让所有的中国人都能够明年过一个非常美好的年。
Happy New Year.
Speak English, and it is a little difficult to get information through an automatic translator. You and your team are doing a great job to save life on Earth. Thank you very much. What a happiness it is to realize that there are people who think like me who have lost their children. They suffer a lot and want to know the truth about life and lives and your team health and well-being. Best regards, E.D.
Thank you very much. We know the mother has been in the background and has heard the response of last week. We hope she has found some resolution to her pain and understanding that by passing through the physical life of the man, we'll reach a new dimension. We become a seed of a star. And if we carry the love of the mother with us and the father, will that love become seated in the souls that our soul will create in its next generation of life, in the next cycle of its life. As we said, we enter 21st of March into a new phase. As I explained in some of the teachings, from 21st of March, we go to the origin of creation, how life was created. This has been a mystery for man, how life was created on this planet and taken the shape of physical life we have today, and how we have compromised our soul to be the prisoner of physicality, to be able to elevate itself to the strength and a position that becomes the seed of a star somewhere in the universe. The teaching of the 21st of March onwards, which is the origin of creation, will be supported and be brought back on both the TV channel and in the teachings, where we call back on many of the scientists who worked with us originally to come back, and we extend the knowledge. As I said to one of the knowledge seekers, we call back on Elia Kostova. If she wants to come back in, as we started the original, the structure of the life of the man on her teachings in conjunction with the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation. We call back on Dr. Rodriguez to come back and explain, and we try to bring the work of the Keshe Foundation on the origin of life, origin of creation. And on those bases, we bring many of the Keshe Foundation scientists and knowledge seekers that collectively we understand the process of the creation. How does one cell become the cell of the skin of the man? How come a cell become the cell of the heart of the man? And how come part of the cell become the soul and part of the cell becomes the physicality of the soul? In a way, we extend the knowledge for man to understand the creation, that in the depth of the universe, we understand how the souls and the physicalities which we come across are created. That it doesn't become a mystery. That we don't see a body in a silver shape or in a black shape or any other color, and how they are, how they're produced. Man has to understand the process of the creation. In so many ways, I have taught you the first phase. In a way, when we produced the ganses, the first thing you came to know was the process of creation, but you had no interest in it. When you saw the ganses were the manifestation of the soul, of the energy without tangibility but the vision. You saw the soul of the gans. What you see is not the physicality of the gans, but at the same time bringing the soul of the matter, we created the amino acid, which was the binding forces of the creation of the gans itself, connected to the body of this planet. In so many ways, what most of us as knowledge seeker dismissed or just saw as something we had to collect as the amino acid is the first building block of life. In the coming teachings, we go into detail how the process of the creation started, how the love of the creator led to the creation of the physicality, and how physicality takes shape, how and why we create the process of absorbing energy, how we create the process of breathing, how we create the process of interacting and attracting field forces from the universe, how we create conditions and field forces for creating the heart, why the body decided to have a liver, what is and how it constructed itself, why on the other planet and other positions in the universe where the being and the entities do not consume physical food, they process the energy which they receive and they store and they reject. Do they have a liver? Do they have a digestion system? Do other entities and lives in the universe have the cleaning process like kidneys? Do the creation of interaction of the fields of the body of the any living things has an emotion? Do others love each other in the universe? Do they show the love of affection the way the man does? And why they don't do? Is it the cause of it the combination of the amino acid and interaction with the fields of the ganses, which in their interaction leads to creation of emotion? Is loving unique to the creator and the man, and the rest of the universe watches? In so many ways, it's time for man to understand the full process of creation, the full understanding of the cycle of the creation. This is one of the cornerstones of the teaching and the spreading of the knowledge on Keshe Foundation TV in the coming weeks and months. We invite world scientists to go step by step, and we develop the full understanding of not only life on this planet, but beyond. How life in essence is created out of the rays and the life of the creator. In so many ways, we have to understand, does the knowledge which the man carries is the knowledge of the Creator. In so many ways do we know it, but we are not aware of it, or are we aware of it and we do not know it? This is part of the process. If you go back to the way we set out the 48 teachings of what we call the health teachings, in the beginning with Daniel Kostova, was this way: to explain the physical direction and physical dimension, and at the same time the understanding of it through the work of the plasma. Now we want to know how every cell is created. We go back to the same process. How and which gravitational fields and which one magnetical and which one combination of these has led to creation of cell of brain of the man. That not only it makes it for us to understand, to be able to replicate, even as we saw in the letter of the mother, if the surgery leads to demise, can we reverse it? Can we use the presence of the soul to repair the physicality and damage of physicality? Can we come to the point where the life and the accidents of the separation of the fields of the body of the man and his soul does not become accident, but we all agree? We agree for the point of the transition. In a way, we don't miss the physicality, but we collectively, as understanding the operation of the soul, we agree when the transition will take place, that we all are connected to. So we don't see death, but we see a change. This is the new understanding of the science of the creation. In a way where we agree with the soul of our parents, our friends, our children, that this is the time you want to go through a transition. It's like the way we say goodbye at the airport. We say goodbye to our parents, to our friends, to our children at the airport, but we know where they go. We know we can reach them. This is the next step in the teaching, where in a way the death is not the end, but it's another destination where we all understand. Because now when the soul separates, we are left with the physicality and we don't know where the soul is. But this way, it takes the pain of loss away. In a way, we all agree collectively that we don't suffer with the loss, but we are happy that we are still together in different dimensions and understanding. This is part of the teaching which will manifest itself in the process of the teaching in the coming time after 21st of March. In a way, we bring the creation and the creator and the physicality of both to the dimensional understanding of not only man, but the citizens of the universe. In so many ways, this is the beginning of book 8, the origin of magnetic field, the origin of the creation. In so many ways, in understanding the totality, we bring scientists who have gone into the depth of the knowledge of the creation, and on a platform with the leading scientists of the Keshe Foundation, we bring them to understand the totality and for us to understand the process of the creation. How does every cell is created, and how every cell, to the present understanding of the physics and medical and the health, is done in the dimension of the soul of the man. Don't forget, the soul is the sun, and the interaction of the fields of itself leads to the creation of the cell of the man in the interaction with the fields of the environment of it. In a way, as I was explaining, when many of us go through the process of birth, is not the point of inception, is not the point that where the egg is released by the mother, that the interaction of it with the sperm, which is itself another energy pack, leads to the creation of new life. In the cycle of the life of a woman, in a way, as we know, the release of the egg comes some days after completion of the cycle. Why is that? And the reason for that gap is the time when the shell is built around the yolk and the white, which means in those spare gap of 10 days, the shell is made. The essence of the creation is completed. And the whole essence of the creation, the color of the eye, the emotion of the child, it starts from the month before when the last egg was released. And the process is that the last 28 days, every cell of the body of the man gathers its knowledge to be embedded within the base of the structure. That when the child is born, it carries all the beauty and all the knowledge of the mother or the father. In a way, the last 10 days is just the white eggshell as we see with the chicken. The 28 days before the last cycle is the time when all the energies, all the efforts of the body has put in to carry all the information on the baseline. So, in so many ways, how does this happen? And why do we do it so frequently? Why do we recycle every month? Because in that month, there could be a new knowledge, there could be a new change, which the brain wants to transmit to be part of the next cycle. It's not that at the beginning of life that information was embedded. Every month, whatever the mother has gathered in knowledge, in love, in care, in pain, and what it has changed in the dimension of his life is embedded in the new egg. This is the reason of the cycle. This is why we evolve. This is why evolution of the man and evolution of the mammals and the trees is essential in this way. It's upgrading and updating on a monthly basis. We gather the information. That's how we evolve. That's how the evolution of the life in man has been so rapid. The monthly cycle of life, both for a male and a female, is upgrading time. It's the time when the information up to the latest, what has been processed by the soul and the physicality, is upgraded and loaded. In a way, when you have no changes in your life, there is no upgrading. It always stays the same. When you become a scientist, when you add to your knowledge, when you find a defect in your structure and it's upgraded into the soul of the man's, and the physical dimension of the soul is upgraded onto the egg. Now we understand why we go through this process. We understand that at the same time the soul of the man gets upgraded, and in that process is embedded in the egg, is embedded in the sperm. Now we have to understand the full process of creation. We have been blind to it. We just see it happen and we know that's it. As I said many times, why do we go through the process of breast cancer and the tumor in the prostate? What's the reason? Why do we do this? Why do men and women change in the cycle of their life to less active? Because the physical heart, the physicality cannot match the upgrading and updating. Because man can change this. We have the knowledge and the capability to understand that, like the physical life, we don't make the body retire at the age of 60. We can extend the life to 600 and 6,000 years. In so many ways, when you stand and understand the ethos of the creation, life becomes very beautiful. We understand the process of creation. We understand that we pray, we give, we embed the soul of the child from the last cycle to the cycle when he appears as an egg or a sperm. This is part of the process that mankind has to understand. This is part of the process which has been blinded to us, and the world of physicality has taken over the dimension of creation. Pray for the soul of your children when 20 years before they were born. When you have a child at the age of maturity, the child carries the knowledge of the whole time of maturity. When you have children at a young age, you are not matured and you haven't transferred the maturity of life into your eggs and into your sperm. We see the difference even in the physical condition of the children which are born from the parents after the age of 45 and 50. And we see the difference with the children from the young mothers and the young fathers. The maturity of the soul and the maturity of the physicality meets. We see physically in the scientific reports that the children from mature parents always stay silent because they are fully matured. They don't need that time of first years to run and to do everything else. They have carried it within the structure of the frame of the egg when they were released by the parents. They are ahead by years because they already carry the knowledge. They have carried 20 years, 30 years knowledge of the parents embedded in them. In a way, when we become mature and understand the process of creation, when we give birth to the new cycle of children, they'll be fully mature to the full knowledge of the universe. This is what the mankind has been blind to. This is what we need to understand to be able to create the new dimension and the evolution of the science and technology. We need to bring the scientists of ethos and knowledge together. Many of the scientists, leading scientists in theology and religion, stay within the structure of the churches and mosques. We see this many in Vatican and within the structure of the faith in Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran has created scientists with ethics and theology. These scientists will be called upon to bring the two sides together. We have invested many, many years in these souls. Now it's time for them to bring with a new understanding of the soul of the man and a new technology for the people to understand the creation. In a way, we are not putting the theologists away and the scientists away. Many of these scientists and theologists in one soul will be advantaged and will be used by the Keshe Foundation in the upcoming teachings. We have seen these across Vatican and across Iranian, what we call religious leaders, which are mainly scientists, but they want to look at the ethics and theology of the life too. In a way, we do not dismiss anything, but we have to understand all of it. All of us and our ancestors has invested in the true knowledge, and now we call upon it for us to become the true knowledge seekers. Seeks the knowledge of the creation of the Creator. In the upcoming teachings, now you understand when I explained a new cycle will start. A new cycle to understand the true essence of the creation. With those who understood the work of the soul, the work of the physicality, and with it to educate the rest. In this process, as I said, many of the knowledge seekers who served and been around and understood, if they wish so, they be brought back in to explain and work together with the Keshe Foundation, and in so many ways to teach the new cycle. Every one of us has a cycle to serve in the front line, and we take a rest. And that has been the same for many of us. Each one of us serves in its own time when the time is needed. And now some of us come back online. In the process of the creation, we should not become understanding of it so hard. It should be very easy for all of us to understand the origin of the creation. This is the title of the book, number 8, which we promised. The interaction of magnetic fields, which is the origin of the creation. In so many ways, many of you will learn in how to start and how to structure a life in the coming up times. And in so many ways, we transfer the love of the man with the physicality of the man, with the soul of the creator, with love and care. In so many ways, many of you will mature into understanding the purpose of your life. In many ways, many of you will understand what is the future for your life and existence. Then you understand why in my teachings I always say, I know the time of departure of my life in the physical dimension, as I have agreed to it on the position and the time and the place. Because we work on the condition and the dimension of universal order, not on the dimension of physicality of the man. I have changed physicality many times, as there was not the time to leave. But in that process, we decide on the next steps. What has been blind to the mankind has become the source of his knowledge. And what has been the source of knowledge, it becomes the source of his strength and not the weakness. In so many ways, mankind is getting ready to enter into universal community, where we decide collectively as the ones who created us and the one we love, in where we'll reside, where we'll take place, in what shape and color we'll manifest ourselves. In a way, we will not need a dream. We'll face the facts and the reality that collectively we call it the time of separation, not at the airport and not at the bus station or a train station, but at the point where the souls agree that this is where the soul will take place. We call it the station of the soul of the man, where we collectively know where the next destination is. We shall not miss our children. We shall not miss our parents, as we have pre-agreed, this is the place you're going to. I know where you are. I miss you, but keep in touch. In so many ways, we change the losses into gains. We don't lose our children. We gain a new station for them. The way we send them toys, the way we send them food, the way we send them packages of what they love, we can do this with the soul of the man. In a way, the change of physicality and the change of the soul of the man becomes the same. In so many ways, man matures to understand there is no death. There is no end. There is no point of departure. It's choosing the time and the place that we all agree. Maybe I do not like to be in the shape and the physicality of the man, but I like to be in the shape and the physicality of the planet Zeus. But I'm there. If you want, you come there. I move to India, still me, but I wear Indian dress. It doesn't mean that I've changed. I move in South America to Africa. I wear and eat the clothes of the nation, but in essence it's me. This is important for many of us to understand that the death, the way the man has envisaged and has seen, will become a thing of the past. In a way, we leave the clothes behind at home, but in reality, in physicality, we take life and clothes in the new destination. In a way, that's what the clothes is the physical body of the man. But do we need to do that from now on, that our knowledge has gathered to this point? The answer is no. We can take our clothes and change their energy and the shape to the point of destination, where the soul of the man meets the soul of the position and time, and in interaction with it decides the shape of its physicality. This is where the science meets the soul of the man and finds peace in its existence. In so many ways, now as knowledge seekers, you are getting well educated to understand why even your soul has chosen you to be in this point of time a knowledge seeker. As your numbers brings the masses for the rest of the human race to understand, and in that position brings the human race to be understood by universal community that has matured to the total understanding of the creation. The prerequisite to entering a universal community was not in building a spaceship, was not in understanding the soul, but it was to understand the essence of the creation. That in a way, if you choose the soul, you love the cat and you like to be as a cat, or you like to be a deer and you take in dimension of your soul the shape of a deer in physicality, would you like to be shot? Would you like to be eaten? Would you like to see the demise of your physicality by another? This is where it says, thou shalt not kill. As in essence, it could be the soul which has taken the shape in that dimension and position in another place in the universe. And would you like to eat the physicality of the soul of your own child in another dimension? This is painful, but this is the truth. This is why killing and consumption of physicality is forbidden. Because in so many ways, mankind has a free access to the totality of the energy of the universe for what is not needed. And in essence, what is not needed is the ray of the Creator, is the essence of the creation of the Creator, which is abundant. But man cannot take life, because in coming time, now that you become the chooser of the manifestation of physicality, you might want to feel how it feels to be a lion for a while. You take the dimension and position of it. To you as knowledge seekers and those who don't understand, might look weird and sound weird. But in fact, when you understand the position of your soul and you can change the strength of your soul, you can bring your soul to the strength of the physicality of any shape or color you like. You don't mutate, you transmute the energies to the level which you want. And then, would you like to be killed as a wild? In a way, this is where the lamb and the lion live in the same nest. As I like to taste and understand how the lion sees the savannah, and a lamb would like to see how it tastes, where one could be the father and one the son. In a way, we had to hide the truth in the essence of the lion and the lamb. But in essence is that how your soul decides to take shape in physicality for a period of time, that has to be the right of the existence and life without being killed. This is why mankind up to now has been forbidden to enter the universal community. because they have not understood the mutation of the physicality and its energy to the soul of the man and vice versa. This is the point of maturity. This is the point where human race has to rise above the dimension of physicality. In so many ways, if I want to be the lamb and I want to be part of you, would you like to have some of me, that I see what pleasure you take, what pleasure I give you, I love you to do. And then I still stay in the physical dimension of the soul of myself, but I give you the pleasure of existence. On the other hand, the life on this planet was not accidental. As I've said many times, and many, many times will repeat, is remember the simple experiment of the orange and the water. The orange is the soul of the Creator, and the water has been the oceans of this planet with the salt, where the essence of the creation, the taste of the life of the Creator has embedded. This is why the life on this planet started within the oceans and the waters. As the same, the essence of the Creator in interaction with the physical inertia of this planet in the liquid state leads to manifestation to bring the taste, the texture, the beauty of the Creator in the essence of the soul of the Creator, and not in the dimension of physicality. We don't see a bar of gold, we don't see a piece of copper at the end of the gas box. We see the energy, the soul. And now you understand why I brought the teaching through the gas box, through the creation of CO2, through creation of the gases, that you touch it, doesn't exist. But if you give it the inertia of the, without the inertia and magnetic gravitational field forces of its atmosphere, which is oxygen, you get the solid gas. But in fact, you have no essence of the direction and dimension, it becomes physical. We take one of the inertias, one of the, what we call magnetic field balances out, and it becomes the other. Now you understand why you even dry gases and how you create life. Maybe for the first time, you understand how the bone structure is created within the structure of the physicality of the man as a solid. This is why we taught you to create dry gases. Isn't the bone a dry gas? But in the dimension of the physical strength of the magnetic gravitational field of the environment, of the enclosure of the skin of the man. The heaviest sinks to the center. So is the bone of the man in respect to the skin of the man, which is the carrier of the brain and emotion of the man. Now you understand why even the bones of your finger take shape the way they do. The knowledge has to be understood in its totality. The knowledge needs to be understood in the essence of its creation, not by the misunderstanding of the man. And this is the process that in the coming months and weeks will explain more in depth. When I explain to you that from 21st of March, we will bring you the essence of creation, a new life, a new understanding. Now you understand what it means for man to start a new cycle, to understand the essence and the principle of his own creation. That now man understands the birth of the man. Why do we manifest ourselves in the dimension of physicality, and how in the interaction of the dimension of physicality and the inner soul of the man, inner energy sanctum of the man, we create which cell in one dimension, in one direction. In so many ways, life has to become the totality. The totality of understanding the process from the rays of the Creator to the essence of physicality of the created, which is the man and other creatures of the universe. In so many ways, the teaching of the Keshe Foundation is exactly what it says, where the science meets the soul of the creator. By understanding the science of the creation, we reach the soul of our creator. We find a way, we understand the method, we understand the essence of creation, that in the direction and dimension of the existence in the universe, mankind become mature in the truth of the creation, finds out about himself, finds out about his creator, finds out about his creation and the way the creator has led to the creation of life. Then we have to understand the creation of the life of the soul, which that comes in the later part, when we mature more in understanding the creation of the cell and the soul of the cell. And then maybe in the process of maturity, we come to understand the creation of the soul of the creator. I made man in the image of myself. I made man from the soul of myself. And as you can have one orange and many oceans and many cups, you can create the image of yourself depending on the salt content and the mixture of the water in each cup, be it on planet Earth or another dimension in the universe. In essence, the creation and the creator are the same, but in the different strengths of manifestation. And then the question comes, shall I meet my creator? In many ways, you have already met the creator. You're not aware of it. You always looked in the mirror to see the face of the man, but you have never seen the true face of the soul of the man, which is the essence of the creation of the creator. You're that cup in a given position in the universe with its environmental field forces which manifest you as a man. The cup and the essence of it will not change. If you take the cup in another position and another dimension, the only thing will be different manifestation, the strength of the ganses. You saw the same ganses with different environment changing colors from green to brown, white. That's what will happen to the man as they feel the strength of this environment and the essence of creation of field forces will change the man. You have already seen the evolution, but you are blind to it as you never understood what it means. When you look at a cup and you take a cup of gas from one room to another and it changes color and shape, that'll be you. In essence, the soul stays the same, but it manifests itself in different shapes and colors and pressures according to its environment. In a way, you have been witness to the process of creation and conversion of the field forces. But as you never understood the totality, it was just changing color. This is what happens to you when you change position in the universe. This is what has happened to us when we change position on this planet. We went from the black skin to the whites and the blue eyes and the brown eyes and everything else, as the environment has changed. Now, as the common denominator field forces of the earth in respect to the soul of the man changes with a new position in the universe, then we will have the same soul. But in the interaction with the physical dimensions of the field forces, inertia of the space and time, doesn't matter it's on a planet or an empty space between the stars, man, in the essence of physicality, will manifest itself in the color, the shape of the environment. Understanding the transmutation of the fields of the universe is the ultimate maturity of the soul of the man and the knowledge of physicality. Now, you have to decide. You want to walk the distance, you want to fly the distance, or you want to transmute the distance. We're giving you the donkey, the spaceship, and the soul of the man in the dimension of the universal fields of the universe and the Creator. Now today's teaching brings you a new dimension. Today's teaching opens your eyes to many facts in essence of creation and not in the dimension of the physical tools, boxes and maghrab systems. It makes you think, and that thinking makes you rich and mature. As is the Chinese New Year and a Chinese proverb said, suffering brings you pain, pain makes you think, and thinking makes you rich, and that wisdom of richness makes you very wise. Now, mankind has been through the process of suffering and pain, and it has made him to think, what is the solution? And now we find the answer to it, and our wisdom brings us to understanding of the creation of the Creator and the essence of our own creation. In so many ways, mankind is ready to open the span of the universe to itself, and in so many ways announce its maturity to the rest of the dimensions of the creation in the dominion of the Creator. Is for each one of us to understand, and in that process lead to the maturity of the other souls to understand the same, that we all at the same time mature. This process has been left to one soul maturity, that with it matures the totality. As I said many times, Einstein said the funny things, when one pole moves, the other poles in other atoms and electrons moves too. Now when one soul matures, which is from the soul of the Creator, then the whole soul of Creator will change and mature at the same time. Not only on this planet, but they all synchronize to become one, to work as one, and in so many ways to manifest the soul of the Creator in totality.
Are you still there, Mr. Keshe?
Can you hear me?
We hear you now. We lost you there for almost a minute.
Yes. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, it's clear now.
Yeah. Thank you very much. In a way, you were not supposed to hear what was said, which means the man is not mature to that point yet. In so many ways, mankind through the new teachings will become mature. Mature to the totality of life. Mature to the totality of understanding of the creation and the Creator. And in so many ways, with this new cycle, with this new step, With this new understanding, mankind and the rest of the universal community matures at the same time to understand the evolution and existence of the Creator and the purpose of creation. And maybe in this process, as race of the man, and as the earth has been chosen to be one of the places that the Creator has found beauty in its existence, we'll see the creation of the Creator in essence of the creation, which means we'll see the maturity of the soul of the universe come through the planet Earth, come through the beauty that this planet carries and the diversity of life in it, where the diversity on this planet is the reflection of the diversity of life in the universe. The same as the orange and the cup, the orange and the water in the cup. The planet Earth, in the diversity of maturity of the field strength, has copied many things of different points and positions in the universe, that collectively Earth has become the museum of the totality of the creation. Would we see life in the dimension of a tree in one point in the universe? Would we see life in the style of a lion, shape of a lion, in another position in the universe, where the reflection of the soul in interaction, the physical body of the waters of this planet and its salinity and the diversity in energy has led to the replication of? Can we extend the knowledge of the man? As I've said many times before, we transfer the essence, the taste, the soul of the orange into the cup. We taste it, we get the energy of it, we get the feel of it. But now is the time to understand how these feels and these essences in the cup can be converted into the physical shape of the new orange in the cup. Would it be still orange in color? Would it be still juicy? Would it be still have the shell and the skin? Would it still have those divisions? Or in the cup and in the dimension of the essence of the fields inside the cup, will still taste like orange, will have the emotion, but will take a different shape. It will be green and with 2 or 3 tentacles. So, in fact, mankind become wise to his own creation. The orange to be the creator, and the cup, the oceans of the planet. And in interaction with that, how will the soul of the creator in essence will manifest itself in the dimension of its environment in the cup. But the point is, would be when we see that physicality, we recognize that is the orange we knew, but in a new dimension and direction. Would we, when we land in a position in the universe, we recognize the soul of the planet or the star to have in essence the soul of the man from the earth. But it's taken a new shape and dimension, but in essence is the same. Listen to these teachings many times and understand every sentence and the word, and you'll become wise to the wisdom of the creation and the purpose of the teachings to come. We teach you in the dimension of physicality as much as to understanding of the ethos of the creation. In so many ways, we enter a new era of teaching. Past 3 years, we covered the soul of the man, a collection of the fields. But before we had to understand where the fields come from. That's why the book 8 is before book 9. Because mankind had to understand the end before understands the beginning. And that's why we taught the souls first, and now we go into the essence of what we call the origin of creation, where the creation comes from interaction of the fields. It becomes much easier to teach when you see the totality. Then it's easier to understand the beginning. I hope many of you knowledge seekers have been enlightened to understand the truth about yourself and your creation, and the answer to the mother. Has the daughter physically left, or is the dimension of the physicality of the mother, which has to understand the position of the soul in its new dimension and position, but in reality, physicality has changed, but the dimension and dominion has not. This is what we have to educate ourselves to. In the coming time, from now on, as the knowledge of the man become more and more in-depth understanding of the process of the creation and the creator, will become easy to understand. We never die. We just evolve. We transmute from one strength to another and one position to another with collective energies of the universe. Our physical body is not just us. It's made of the plants we consumed, the animals we consumed, the air we breathed, the energies we collected from the earth and the universe. Now will be in a different strength and dimension, but in essence, the same soul, changing its position and dimension and strength of manifestation and its demise in one position to another. But now we have the time and we have the understanding of the process of the change. In so many ways, mankind becomes mature to understand the true essence of its own creation. I am the creator. I am the beginning. I am the end. Where the soul of the creator is my beginning, and the end is a present position of my soul and physicality. But it has another end, and many ends to it, as I change the consuming of the energy of the fields of the others, animals or plants, to accepting the availability of what is available in the universe, not to kill, but to enjoy the essence of the energies of the Creator. That I become the cup. Do not forget what the Christ said. This is my body, this is my blood. Where the blood is the liquid, where the essence of the beauty of the Creator will convert into the physicality of the man. And that's where the theology lost it altogether. It's not the physicality of the bread or the physicality of the wine. Is an essence. It's what you learned in the Keshe Foundation teaching of the Ganses. Where the blood is that salt water. That's why the blood is salty. And the condition of the creation of that blood in the interaction of its environment leads to the physicality, the creation of physicality of the man in the interaction with the soul of the Creator. Now, one of the oldest mysteries in the Christianity is answered. Now we understand it because we understand the science and the technology of it. Suck on your blood is salt. And taste the ganses you produce in the waters of the salt. I am the Creator. And I carry the soul of the Creator In essence, the soul of the Creator, being within the structure of the soul of the man, with the interaction of the blood of the man, leads to manifestation of the physicality of the man. This is my blood, and this is my body, which both is the essence of the creation. Needs one to manifest the other. In so many ways, the totality of the completion of the knowledge takes wisdom of understanding. In so many ways, the totality of understanding and knowledge of the creation needs the understanding of essence of creation and the Creator. In so many ways, the rhetoric in the religion books is the truth in the word of the Creator for the man to understand about the time and the position, and according to the maturity of his understanding, even hidden as Adam and Eve, bread and wine, and many others. Now we understand the science, and this is where the science meets the soul of the man, and with it brings the peace to man to understand, not to be afraid of his demise, but the conversion of his fields according to transmutation of the fields from one state to another. I am the Creator. And with beauty and love, I teach freely that those who have created understand the process of their creation. In so many ways, man's knowledge has to reach the point of maturity, that it can manifest itself in any dimension in the universe with pleasure and peace, and to understand that there is no end except what it needs to carry as a point of conversion. If the man is so much in love with the dimension of his physical body, he can carry that physical body within the structure of his soul. And many souls in the dimension of the universe carry many physicality with them, as they have been to many places and enjoyed the existence of that point and position. In a way, you become an atom with many electrons, but in essence, the totality of the seed within the center is the places and the times where you've been and what energies you have collected, that you want to keep all to manifest yourself in all dimensions, to be in the first orbit and the second and the fourth and the fifth. And there's one question for those of you who come from the world of physics and chemistry. Is there a limitation to number of electrons and protons that we can put together? That one understands there is no limit in the elements of the creation matter states, depending on the space and the time and the position. Now that we understand, in a way, is the periodic table 100 and something, or is it 1,000 and something, or maybe tens of thousands and some? The answer is the latter, depending on the position and time and the place. So we have the basic knowledge of understanding in the dimension of physicality. Now we do not need to name that there could be such element. We have the knowledge to create that element according to the environment we create to see it, even though it might not exist in the dimension of the physicality and the strength of the inertia and the magnetic gravitational field of the earth. Is that fish tank for you to see an element with 1,000 electrons? Yes, of course. If you understand the process of the creation of that field, that the 1,000 electrons needed to manifest the physicality of that element. Now you understand transmutation of the fields and not transmutation of element. It's the maturity of understanding where the soul of the man understands the soul of the Creator. Today's teaching is not easy for many of you. Today's teaching is not easy to be understood, but some of you understood part of it, and some of you understood most of it. But in essence, I have touched the soul of all of you who are the listeners. And in one way or another, listen more, that you grasp the essence of the creation and you understand the position of the man in the realm of the Creator. I hope I managed to inspire you to understand more about your own life, and in many ways to answer the mother in full. Shall I meet my daughter again? You have never been alone and without her. It's just that you look in the dimension of physicality, but in essence, the soul of your daughter has been with you, is part of you, and it never leaves you, as you have created it, and you are the creator of. As we are created with the soul of the Creator, you have become the same. The essence of the love of the mother will carry on through the daughter. Does not matter in which dimension and dominion she will exist. Do not look to see through the eye of the physicality. Enjoy the essence of the knowledge of the creation in the soul of the man and through the soul of the man. One does not need eye to see if the man is blind to the vision of the light of the place and the position. But it does not mean that it does not exist as I cannot see.
Mamy koniec tłumaczenia na dzisiaj. Mamy jeszcze wolny czas, tak więc jak ktoś chciałby zabrać głos, to zapraszam. No dobrze, tak więc kończymy na dzisiaj. Spotykamy się w niedzielę o 21:00, a to były 441 warsztaty poszukiwaczy wiedzy w języku polskim w czwartku 18 lutego 2021 roku. Dziękuję za przetłumaczenie, dziękuję, że byliście i oglądaliście i słuchaliście tego. Do usłyszenia.
It's time for change.
Nadszedł czas zmiany. przejścia do prawdziwego działania wszechświata. I nadszedł czas, aby zrozumieć, że używamy stanu materii, by osiągnąć poziom zrozumienia duszy człowieka. Teraz rozumiesz, być może, dlaczego Kreator wysłał swoich posłańców w imię tego, co miałeś. To oni przynoszą uszy, aby można było ich użyć, gdy nadejdzie czas Mesjasza. Mogę nauczyć duszę i przesłanie, nie by się przeciwstawiać, ale poprzez ich zrozumienie przez tych, którzy stali się Mesjaszami, aby dawać ze swoich dusz, aby ich elewować. Zadanie stało się łatwe. Szkoła jest tutaj i uczniowie są tutaj w oddaniu. Wtedy nie będzie żadnej walki między tym, co nazywają muzułmanami a chrześcijanami. Baranek i lew będą jeść i spać w tym samym gnieździe. Chrześcijanie i muzułmanie będą spać i modlić się w meczecie, w tym samym kościele, w imię ich dusz, nie w imię religii, które są używane do tworzenia tak wielu konfliktów, dla korzyści tych, którzy byli hiperaktywnymi dziećmi. Nadszedł czas, czas zmian jest tutaj. I jak powiedziałem, moje życzenie jest moim rozkazem. Jeśli pragniesz ujrzeć pokój, droga pokoju jest wyłożona bardzo wyraźnie. To dusza świadomości zbiorowej. Poprzez dawanie stworzy tą pozycję zmiany. Nic innego. W duszy człowieka nie ma długopisu. Jestem pewien, że po wejściu do społeczności uniwersalnej nigdy nie zobaczysz niczego zapisanego, ale równowagę pól duszy egzystencji. Staraj się być na tyle pokornym, aby nie stać się aroganckim w mocy, którą zrozumiałeś i posiadłeś. Inaczej wpadniesz w tą samą ścieżkę kościoła i meczetu. To jest to, co obiecaliśmy i to właśnie dostarczyliśmy. Musimy zrozumieć działanie duszy i musimy zrozumieć, że dusza człowieka jest gwiazdą w kosmosie wszechświata. Jeśli porównamy duszę człowieka i tak wielu nas, 7 miliardów w jednym zbiorze, Ziemia jest jak galaktyka z tak wieloma gwiazdami. Kiedy patrzymy w głąb wszechświata, widzimy galaktyki z setkami milionów gwiazd. Podobnie jest z planetą Ziemią. Niesie 7 miliardów pięknych gwiazd, które są duszą człowieka. Niesie z sobą duszę tak wielu trylionów zwierząt, roślin i wszystkiego innego. Jeśli więc patrzą ci, którzy nie widzą fizyczności Ziemi i jej zawartości, co widzą? Widzą galaktykę z wielką ilością pięknych, świecących świateł. Każda według swojej siły. Każda zgodnie ze swoją pozycją. Niemowlę ma piękną duszę, podobnie jak staruszek. Dla tych niefizycznych, którzy nie widzą fizycznego wymiaru tej planety, ale widzą siłę pola, jesteśmy gromadami gwiazd. Ludzka rasa, każda pojedyncza dusza, nikt z daleka nie widzi. To jest dusza rybaka, to jest dusza kosmologa, to jest dusza prezydenta. Wszystkie świecą bez względu na fizyczność. To jest magia. Oto co nowa nauka musi przynieść człowiekowi. Kiedy patrzymy przez naszą duszę, widzimy tylko gwiazdy w innych duszach. I to jest przełom. To jest zrozumienie. Na tym właśnie polegają te wszystkie nauki. Dojście do dojrzałości następnego poziomu, aby zrozumieć daleki kosmos. Wszechświat jest ostrygą dla tych dusz, które służą. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy do wejścia w kosmos. Wtedy człowiek jest gotowy, aby stać się częścią uniwersalnej społeczności, która została obiecana. Nigdy nie obiecywałem wam nieba. Zawsze obiecywałem wam elewację człowieka, aby przyłączył się do rodziny. A teraz macie klucz. To wy musicie otworzyć drzwi, aby zrozumieć, że mogę elewować duszę tych ludzi lub milionów innych dusz, że fizyczne życie na tej planecie zmieni się. Wtedy jestem godny bycia częścią społeczności uniwersalnej, by być, aby służyć, aby się rozwijać, by być tam, aby być częścią, że w cyklu życia wszechświata staje się w byciu częścią, staje się częścią totalności. Kiedy człowiek osiągnie ten punkt, pojawi się nowy wymiar w sile duszy człowieka, który jest poza wyobrażeniem zrozumienia życia fizycznego. To jest brama do otwarcia nowego życia w nowym wymiarze, co jest poza wyobrażeniem tego, co mogliście nazwać nowym początkiem, nowym cyklem, gdzie ten cykl niesie ze sobą źródło stworzenia życia we wszechświecie i unikosie. To jest elewacja duszy, aby służyć. Stała się kluczem. Nie tron życia fizycznego. Czas jest odpowiedni. Nadszedł czas, aby człowiek przeszedł przez ten proces.